I'm going to dive into scenery now, and with that, I think we're going to build a very simple experience. And what we're going to build will simply be using UI assets that you create to assign movement to 3D objects. So I'm going to start with a custom script here, and I'm just going to go to a very simple world tracking. Again, we're not going to make this too overly complicated. We have our default 3D object here. Very good object to use if you just want to test things out and get them fine-tuned. So one of the first things I'm going to do is I'm going to leave our position anchor and our 3D object positioned to where we place it in the world. And when I show you the phone view of this, it might make a little more sense in a bit. So in order to get my 2D assets in here, I'm going to come and add media. And here I add media, and let me just try to scoot up. One of the nice things about navigating in scenery is that you can hold down your left mouse button or click in on the pad and use WASD to move, much like you would like any kind of like normal traditional game. So that lets you help kind of like get around your scene when you're trying to place objects and whatnot. Okay, so one of the tricks I'm going to do here, as Mark had mentioned before, is that you can mix and match different trackers and different world position anchors as well. So for this particular UI, I'm actually going to anchor it in relation to my scene of where I place it versus where it's anchored in the world. So one of the first thing I'll do here is I can come to anchoring when selecting on my object, and I'm just going to leave it to none, meaning that wherever I place it within the circle, and when I place it in my scene, it's going to pop up there. So now I want to be able to add my button here. In the assets, you will find in that box, you will find a couple buttons that I made. We're going to make a very simple command: slide to the left, slide to the right. So I'm going to just take my PNG here, and I'm going to I'm going to click into here, which then will allow me to upload the button. You see I already have them here, but I'll just make sure to upload it again, just so you guys can see what that looks like. Come to the upload asset. I might have to click into it. I always get confused. I'll import from files, and then I'll come in here, find my BuildFest assets, and I'll upload it again. So don't mind the duplicate. I'll just name it here. Compress the asset if possible. Again, that just helps keep your project small, keep it very optimized. And it's nice because you can store all your assets in here as well, so that you don't have to go back and continuously upload them if you start a new experience. But you'll see here that now the asset is uploaded, and it'll take just a second to generate that preview for you in here, but you can see the shape of it, and you can see that it's in here as well. Obviously, it'll say, if your asset isn't loaded yet, it'll load the placeholder. And now that I have my asset in here, I can simply use our handles like you would in any other 3D editor to move it around where I would like it to be in the space. So if I kind of click back on my model, I can kind of see that it's there. So I want to make sure that this UI element is a bit above my 3D asset here when I load it in. So let's take our guy, and I'm going to move him somewhere up here. Great. Now that I have this loaded in, I can come down into the object events and start programming how I want the user interaction to behave with that. And one of the things I'm also going to do here is that I'm going to put on, and you might need to help me find where it is. I'm looking for billboarding, Mark.
Yes, a little further, no, like a little further down, I think. Pivot.
Is it pivot?
No, sorry.
I'm always looking for these.
Nope.
Oh, where are you? Billboarding.
But you're in the right spot.
I'm getting warmer.
It's basically at the right below the transform, the alignment constraints. So if you scroll all the way up again, yes, exactly.
Right here.
I think you also want to choose and position anchor, and then just like place it in that, because otherwise I think the system won't have anything to anchor it to.
Got it. So
if I'm
I'll
not
go and change
mistaken.
this back to just a position anchor as well. That way I can also see them between my two scenes. Billboarding is also nice for 2D assets when you want something to always be facing the user. So no matter where they are around the scene or navigating around the scene, that UI will always be facing toward them. And you'll see why that will be important in just a second. Okay, so let's make things a little easier, and I'm going to come in here and rename some of my objects. So I'm going to go 3D object, and then I'm going to rename this as my slide to the left. Just that way, in my objects events panel here, I'm going to be able to see those a lot easier. Now, if we remember, we want what we're going to go for is the user can click this UI button. When they click this UI button, we're going to move our 3D object to the left. So I'm going to go to Add Event, which will bring up the event panel. And you have your different triggers that will appear that Mark covered. And I want on a tap gesture, again, because I'm in this slide left event for this object, that's where it's going to apply if I tap on that object. And now I can enable some actions. So I'm going to go here to click an action, and through all the different options that Mark had showed you before, we're going to go to Animate Object. So now that I have my node here that is for Animate Object, I'm going to go inside and we're going to start customizing it. So we're going to call this Slide Left just to keep it everything uniform. Animation Target. I'm going to change this because, again, I don't want the UI to slide to the left. I want the 3D object to slide to the left. And so when I do that, I'm going to come here to select my 3D object. I'm going to select my model so that I know that it is targeting this one. And you'll see you have this really nice ghost effect that will come up that is almost a preview of what your transform is going to do. So obviously animation type from to, so I want to go from a start position to a new start position. The property I want to do is transform. This is your rotation, scale, and X, Y, and Z axis. But I could also change it to change to opacity or blend weight shapes, right? If I'm doing different animations or want to do other things from there. And then I'm going to change the duration. I'm going to make it just about a 1.5 here. I'll make it just a 1. How about that? So that means that animation is going to take 1 second. And then I have a few different options here that I don't really need to mess with because I also have other ways to control like the speed of things or how it comes about. So I'm going to skip the middle panel here for just a second so I can go over to the right-hand panel and show you how this transform can actually be created. So you'll see here that my non-ghost element, let me go back into it. So my ghosted element shows the start transform. And you can kind of see that as I click between the start transform and end transform panels here. So this is on the ground, obviously in the default 0, 0, 0 location. And when I go to this end transform, you'll see that it's already given it a little bit of a transform here. It goes up to a little bit. But I'm not interested in going up. I'm interested in sliding to the left because that's what my button does. So I'm going to go ahead and go in here, and in the properties panel for the translation, I'm going to zero it out just so I can see where it is. And then I think I'm going to have it slide to the left, so that will be the x-axis. And I'm just going to go -1. Awesome. So that's a good slide to the left looking for me. Again, I can see my ghost image of where it started, and now I can see my and then I can see where it will end up at the end of that transform. One of the other nice things too is that we can obviously preview this action on the top right here when we run this action. So we can see what that looks like. Now I'm going to go back to this middle panel here as well because I can customize my motion even further. You have these nice Bezier curves that allow you to customize the speed and acceleration of your motion by just moving these handles to make it to make the motion feel just right and feel how you'd kind of want it to, right? Make it feel a little bit better than just being linearly interpolated. So with this, I think I'm going to make it to where there is a very rapid movement to the left, and then it's going to slowly peter out and get to that final location there. And again, I can always preview this by running this action. So again, I think I maybe will reverse this, right? Because that's a very quick slide. that might catch the user off guard. So I can even just come down here, take my curve, and instead it's going to start very slowly, and then it'll rapidly snap into place, just like that. That's a pretty good cha-cha slide there. Awesome. So I'm going to come out of here, and by all intents and purposes, my action should be done. And if I want to check on how this is going to work before even going into my phone and setting up the QR code experience, I can start this preview experience, and I can see the entire thing. It does allow you to preview individual actions and preview, what is this select object doing? What is this select object doing? But if you want the whole thing, you can go to preview experience. This will load it up. And there you can see there's my button. So if I'd place this in my scene and I tap this, boom, I've got my slide. I'm going to exit out. Oopsies. I closed the whole thing. My bad. Let me just edit this. Let me just open the editor back up. And this is nice, but I think we can do one more thing. Let's add a slide to the right, just because we can, and just to show you how easy it is to set up initial actions and copy those over for complementary actions. So I just duplicated my asset on the left here, and I can click into it, and then I'm going to slide it over to the right. But now I have two left buttons. That's not going to work. So in order to easily change out the image here, I'm going to right click and remove that. I'm going to go to my upload assets like I did before. And then I'm going to do my new slide button that I created. Give it a second to upload. And just like that, I've got a new button. I'm going to use that. And now that is going to be in place. And now that'll indicate the slide to the right. But don't forget, I didn't change the action either. So you can see here that our buttons still have the same actions. So this is a slide left copy. But super easy to come in here, take this, change up the name, and just like I did before, instead of going to the left, let's make it go one to the right. I can preview that. Bada boom. That's working. And now if I preview the experience, it will load in. I have my buttons. If I hit slide to the right, it goes to the right. If I slide to the left, to go to the position on the left. And it's even nice because scenery is covering the fact that the object is going from a different start position than 0, 0 when I'd initially click it, and still going to the proper place of the coordinates that I set. Okie dokie. Let me get out of here. So one of the last things I could do is I could come here, click out of my objects here, go into my experience panel, and I can slide down to my availability. I can generate a link. And any QR code viewer will be able to take this link. So it doesn't really matter what you use. So I'll just quickly go to QR code generator. I'll put in my link here. And now this QR code that I'll download and bring up on screen is what you can scan to open the experience and see it in your own place. And once I flash that QR code screen up here, one second, you can use this one. I'll show you a quick video of what that would look like in my space. This one I pre-rendered, so don't hate Pastor Jackson for setting this up, but you can see it'll look like this. And I'll simply hit play. So as Mark was saying, I can scan that QR code. That's going to open this scenery app clip. It's going to prompt me to start the experience. I can come into my space. I can move my phone around, make sure I get the tracking right, place it down. And here I put the buttons a little bit lower when I had done this before, but what you can't see is me tapping into it. But I have that motion working on my 3D object. Cool. Super easy, super quick, and shows kind of the power of just doing very simple things, but allows you to get a lot of customization by taking it further from there. Stacking different actions, using different UI, using different 3D objects. If you had a plane, you could animate it moving around your space, and so on. So I'll leave this QR codes up a little bit more, But now where we're going to go is I'm going to show you another experience that you can create as well. And this one is going to be a very simple image tracking experience that utilizes a 2D video asset. So once again, I'm going to create this from scratch. But there's plenty of good tutorials that you can run through, and I'm also going to start from scratch there, even though there is an image tracker option there to start from, just so I can show you guys, how to really easily change between scenes. So at the moment, I don't really need this. Anchor or this 3D model. So I'm going to go ahead and delete this model for now. And I'm going to come in here and I'm going to add my media. So this is going to be a 2D video. I'm going to go ahead and change the anchor position here like I did before, and I'm going to switch it to image. So now that it's switched on image, you can see here that there are two thumbnails right here. And I'm just going to move this out. So this is where our 2D tracker image is coming into place. And again, if you don't know what a 2D image tracker is, that is where you can provide a real-life image, and I'll actually grab it here, and use that as your anchoring instead of a world anchor. You can actually use something customizable, like say this TXI mascot image, and I'm going to use that as the anchor in the real world to track my objects and track my assets onto it. But to do that, I need to give it that asset first. So I'm going to go to select from library. And again, I already have it uploaded, but I just want to show you what that looks like. Come into here. You'll see that I have this image target that I made. I'm going to open that. It was super easy to print. And make sure that the image that you're uploading is going to be very similar to what you have on screen. If there's a little bit of difference in it, it could struggle to identify it. It could struggle to track it. So that's something to be aware. But there you'll see that our image is going to update. And now this is what it's going to look for when we go to track our image. Now, if you can imagine, this image being tracked is kind of our canvas now. Now we want to build everything according to where that's going to exist in space. So if I take my media here, you can see that if I use a 2D video, we're not really going to be able to see it, right? So I'm going to want to rotate that option here, and then I'm going to get even a little bit more fine-tuned on that by coming in here and making it 270 so that it's extra flat. But also, it's going to be massive compared to my image target, right? And so with that, I'm going to decrease the size a little bit just so it can kind of fit. I can play with it and kind of see what's going to look best. Oops, sorry, I scroll very fast. And so I'm just going to have it kind of take up the whole page here. And now I'm going to finally get my video into it as well. So very similarly how we uploaded those UI assets as well, I'm going to select video. Again, I already have my target video here, but I'll upload another one just to show you guys. And as Mark mentioned, you can also take a transparent video, which we'll provide some reference to in the box upload, so that you can play around with that of, people being cut out of a scene, let's say, if you have like a green screen asset that you can take the transparency out of. You can also upload that and have it interact with your scene and build out like a really cool sense of depth in the world. But now that this is ready, I can simply click on it, use this, and then it's going to obviously take a second to upload the thumbnail on the 3D viewer of the asset here. But you can see that it's uploaded. And one thing that Mark had mentioned earlier is that Scenery has this really neat feature of rendering immersively. And I'll preview this experience so you can see what it looks like. So if I preview this experience with the image target, it may agree with me. So you'll see here that the audio is playing and it just plays straight out as soon as it finds the tracking for this. And I'll show you what this looks like in real life. But you'll see that it's just a regular rectangular video, right? It is just kind of playing as it would. So instead, if I were to render it immersively here, what this is going to do is it's going to place a really nice blur and radius around my image. So that way it kind of hides and it kind of blends into the environment. And I can show you what that looks like here with the finalized version. I won't flash the QR code for this one because obviously you guys don't have the tracker for this, but I'll show you what it looks like if you were, and what it'd look like in your experience. So here I am in the TXI space. Once again, scanning my QR code, opening up the app clip for scenery, getting the experience loaded up, and then I move around my space, try to find where I want to place it. Now you can place this down, but placing down your scene when it comes to an image target is less necessary, only because we are actually using this image target in real life to anchor everything to. But I'll place my scene down anyways, and then you'll see that it gives you this ghost version of your asset that it's looking for, right? Find this asset in your space and line it up. And I do it for dramatic effect because it's really snappy when it goes to it. But then you'll see automatically my video playing, and now this video is tracked to that 2D asset. And you'll see me kind of test the tracking for it, right? If you get too far off to the side or anything like that, you're obviously going to lose tracking, but you'll snap right back to it once you get that tracking back in order. And this can extend to very much beyond just 2D video as well, right? We could put in any number of 3D models and assets that could be tracked to this experience. If like I'd put this together in a container and kind of show you guys, if I were to use it just like this, I previewed this experience. There I would see this 3D object being tracked to it as well. And I could still animate this 3D object independently as well, similar to how I did before, right? If I gave it an animation of when it tapped and it moved all around my image tracker, I could, again, your imagination is just the limit for here. And these are just the building blocks for the experiences and for the stories that you want to tell. So I think we're gonna pause there when it comes to the tutorials and kind of showing you guys some of the more basic experiences. I do encourage you all to go and look on the Notion page for scenery that will have these tutorials and more of how to convert, your .fbx or .obj files. This also has a link to the scenery fundamental series where they go into much more depth of the different assets, how to animate things, how to add triggers, how to set up global scenes. We'll be providing some more videos as well to, if my mouse would behave. We'll be providing more experiences as well to show you guys some of the VPS experiences that you can create. Like this one that I created where I put a giant swing on our Moody bridge, and then I animated it to swing back and forth. And then as well as things like face experiences where I show you how to where I show you how to do the occlusion to hide the rest of the face, and how to track different objects or different 2D assets to the face as well. So those are what we can come to expect for the technical parts of this workshop. The last thing I think we'll do is just as a bit of inspiration, and then we'll take any questions if people have them. But also on this wiki here, we have AR experience inspiration, because again, tools are amazing, tools are awesome, but they're only as good as the stories that drive them. And so with this and the Impact BuildFest, we want to make sure that we're telling the right stories of belonging, because that is our theme this year. So here you can actually find different resources of different projects that have existed in the world that are centered around the sense of belonging. Like this one that opened up for the community, that was going to have some development building to allow them to actually see and get a say of what the space would be built like, and what kind of art they'd like to see, how they like the buildings formatted, how they'd like the park, or what kind of assets they would like to see in it, right? Um, Other ones, with the war in Ukraine, had people Gaussian splat capturing different assets or different places around Ukraine that were getting destroyed, but wanting to preserve those parts of their architecture and their cities and their country, to be able to display those in AR, so that they weren't lost to time, no matter how destroyed or how beat up they got. And then there's another one as well where people are trying to use AR to bridge the gap for people with disabilities, right? So wanting to use AR to make folks that may have a disability feel like they belong more together with different experiences. So you can come in here and find several different references, but there's also plenty that you can go out on your own to find. And these will just be nice to find some inspiration. As well, I also have some of Scenery's blog posts linked as well, if you want some more details in terms of, a little bit of the philosophy and a little bit of the technical side, both combined for what it's like to build for an AR experience. If you would like to get those references as well, just to feel extra ready for the BuildFest. And yeah, that about covers all the materials we have. I can open it up for questions if people have them. This recording and this workshop will also be uploaded as well for reference, so we can always look back to it if there's something that you missed. That will be put on the Notion page as well, and you are feel free to reach out to us if you have any other questions, especially in regards to BuildFest. Everybody. Well, Mark, thank you so much for your time. You were a super big help showing off and demoing Scenery for us. It's a really amazing tool. It's really powerful, and I'm really excited to see how you guys are helping shape the world of AR here.